All right, the finale of season one of The Studio on Apple TV with Seth Rogen, Bryan Cranston, many other great actors. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought the whole season was solid. I don't know if it's coming back or not. So if you know that, please put it below. I think this is the kind of show that needs to continue. I mentioned Severance. I think could have been okay after two seasons, but I think this is one where you want to see what happens to the people. So I think it could go on for several seasons. It's kind of built that way. It's fun, but it touches on certain things and culture. These episodes where, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, whatever, come back, watch this, welcome back. Basically the whole thing of these last two episodes, 9 and 10, are that they have to give this speech at a movie con or film con that's important because they're being possibly sold to Amazon, so they have to give this great pitch for their new movie, Kool-Aid or whatever it is. And this is going out live, so they have to be on top of their game. And Bryan Cranston's character, the true head of the studio or whatever, I don't know the hierarchy there. Seth Rogen's the head, but then Cranston's character is like the Chancellor Palpatine of something. I don't know. Anyway, there's a thing that happens at the little dinner before all this is supposed to go down, and there's mushrooms and marijuana in the food, right? And it's sort of well known, like, hey, it's old school Hollywood. There's like lingo. And I love episodes where people get so stoned they can barely control themselves. It's so much fun to watch. And it happens to all of them, but it happens more to one of the main movie characters who's supposed to give a speech. And then it happens to Bryan Cranston's character, who gets just annihilated on mushrooms and everything. Dave Franco is also great in this. He shows up and also gets very high. Great character, funny. I just got to give a shout out to Bryan Cranston in this because he does a real Weekend at Bernie's thing where he is so good at playing fucked up. Just so good. I mean, I aspire to that. That is so well. I mean, bravo, sir. Bravo. He's high. They're carrying him around. He is just really... he looks like someone who ate a lot of mushrooms and edibles. And he's got to give this speech. It's so good. It's so funny. He does such a great job. I mean, I would love to have seen this in person and just to see them, cut so that I could see the difference between the two and have him go into it. I'd love to know what his method is for that, because he's really falling all over the place. And it's so funny. Both of these episodes, it's like one long episode, 9 and 10. And it's done really well. It's great. I thought the whole thing, the first season, was fantastic. Hats off to Seth Rogen. What a great idea. He's done a lot of things that I really like. Platonic, I thought was great. The Studio is great. TV shows that have come out. I'm missing one. There's one in there. I don't know if it's Apple TV, but there's another one that he did that's really good. I can't remember. But another home run. It's just so good. And to listen to him talk about how this show deserves to be using cinematic language and look beautiful, and just because it's a comedy doesn't mean we can't put that kind of existential thought into the lighting and the cinematography. So I thought the whole thing was a wild success. I am going to assume that they have two seasons at least, and another one's coming, because it's got to be doing well for them. People like to laugh, despite the fact that there don't seem to be many raunch comedies coming out. I mean, Seth Rogen's putting out this, but it's very different than Pineapple Express or Superbad or things like that. I mean, those are things he was a part of. I don't know how much involvement he had in directing. Pineapple Express, maybe a little bit, or The Interview or things like that. But, anyway, it's nice to have it back in a different form. And I won't throw that in Seth Rogen's feet for, the blockbuster comedy in a movie theater or whatever, like kind of going away for a bit. It's not dead, folks. It's never going to die. It'll come back. Especially because Seth Rogen's already been there and done that with some of the things he's done. You can't expect, the Beatles to keep playing "I Want to Hold Your Hand." the same way you can't expect Radiohead to want to play, you want them to play the Bends over and over again or whatever. You got to move on. You got to do new things. Look at the bands who are still trying to play the way they used to. It doesn't really work, does it? Sometimes you get one or two that you hit, but it doesn't really play that way. Anyway, great. I thought the season was great. What did you think of the season? I really want to know what you thought. Did you think that, is it one of Apple's best shows? I think Severance was great. I think The Studio was great. I think it's up there. So it'll be exciting to hear if they've got renewed or guaranteed a second season. But I'd love to know what you think and what you thought of this last episode. And did you think Bryan Cranston nailed it? My God, what a performance! What a performance! The Studio, great first season, great finale. I look forward to the next season. Double thumbs up.